Yes, what do you think right now? Why? Okay, let's say now we have already discussed about that. Like now, what is why Java is important, and then what is the latest version of Java? Likewise, we have discussed. Right now, in my computer, right now I have let's say already installed Java, but I'm not sure whether the version I have here. Then in that case, how can I figure out what is the version I'm using? Or whether Java is installed, whether the Java compiler is installed. Likewise, can anyone tell me quickly?
Like Java space
Java. If you type Java, yes, if you type just Java, now it will give you
space.
this output. Yes, then here you will get the help from here. And if you want to see the version, here it would say version, and that would print the product version to the output stream. Right now, if you type Java hyphen version, then you can see in my computer I have installed Java 17, which is the Java runtime environment. Right now, can you remember like very first time we discussed? Right now, in order to run a Java program, what are the things we require? Or like now, what are the program we have written here? How we can run in Java platform? Can someone explain the process, how it works? Yes. Can you quickly tell me? We discussed about the architecture last time. Um we discussed about four technologies in Java architecture. What are the major components comes from the Java architecture? Cannot remember. Right now, you should remember those. Okay, what are those? Right now, Java programming language. We discussed about Java programming language, and then we discussed about this. Then Java programming language, Java class file, Java API, and Java virtual machine. Right now, under this Java programming language, now we discussed that Java is a programming language. Right. Then we discussed what is a source code. Right. Can anyone explain it to me quickly as possible? What is a source code? What is a source code? What is a source code?
like set of instruction given to the
Set of instructions given to the
computer to run the program.
given to the computer to run the program. Set of instructions. Source code, yes, source code may contain set of instructions. Right now, how can you be specific? Can you explain further? What do you call as a source code? Why you call it as a source code? Yes, others also you have to talk now. What is the source code? Using any programming language, right? When you write a computer program, then you can call it as a source code. Right now, created by the programmer, right? Or written according to the syntaxes of given programming language is called as the source code. Right now, source code, is it human readable?
Yes, it's human readable.
Yes. Right. Source code is human readable. Right now, source code is written by the programmer, written using the syntaxes according to the given programming language, and then it contains a set of instructions or set of guidelines, right? Now, which is written using the programming language, right? Now, that is what you can call as a source code. Now, we said that source code is human readable. Now, using the Java programming language, now we have defined set of instructions using the Java programming language to perform. Right now, we have written the code. Now, that code we call as a source code. Right now, it could be any programming language. Right now, we said it is human readable. So, it is not readable by the, or it is not understandable by the computer itself. Therefore, that is what you call as a high level code. Source code is a high level code because it is generated by the programmer. Therefore, it is easy to read, easy to modify. Therefore, we call it as a high level code. Right. Then we know that the computer cannot understand the commands or the instructions written using a programming language because it is human readable. The processor, the computer itself, the processor cannot understand. Therefore, right now what we have to do? Now we have the source code. Now the source code itself will not work. Then what we have to do? In order to execute it, in order to run it, what we have to do?
We need to compile it.
We need to, sorry?
Compile it. Compile.
Compile. Yes, we call it as we need to translate. Because now source code written using human readable language. We call it as high level language hereafter. Therefore, source code is a high level language. Then the processor cannot read it. So we need to convert into a code which the machine understandable one. Therefore, we can refer it as an object code. Object code. We need to write into a machine understandable code. Then we call it as an object code. So, in order to convert source code to a object code, right? Source code to a object code. How can you do that? What are the tools we could use in order to convert a source code to an object code? Tell me quickly. What are the tools you could use? We have already discussed that.
Compiler and interpreter.
Yes, we could use a translator to translate the source code into a object code using a specific tools which is given by the programming language itself. Now we call it as translators, or we call it as compilers, or we have interpreters mainly. Right now, quickly tell me how the compiler works and how the interpreter works quickly.
Compiler checks the code at once and interpreter checks the code line by line.
Okay, when translating, the compiler translate the whole program at once. When translating, the compiler translate the whole program at once, where the interpreter translate line by line. Then you can understand if it is translating whole program at once, it will check for the syntax errors because Java has given some guidelines to write the program. If you are using Java, then whether those requirements has been met or not, it will check. And then if there is no errors, we call as it will check for the compiler time errors. If there is no errors, then it will translate. Then compiler will translate as a whole program at once. Right now we can okay, what is the interpreter as well? Interpreter converts line by line. When it translating, it will translate line by line. Therefore, if there's an error in a line, program will get executed up to that line. If it is a compiler, right, if there is an error in the program will not get compiled at all. Because if there is no errors, then only it will compile the program, whatever the code. Right, now object code is a low-level code. We can call it as a low-level code, and thereafter, this is machine readable. So even is not able to read, generated by translating the source using what? Maybe a compiler or interpreter. Right. Then Java object code contains machine understandable instructions. Object code, a low-level code which contains machine understandable instructions. Which you have instructions to instruction which CPU understand and executes. Right, it's a low-level code, machine readable instructions, which CPU understand and executes. Right, now I need you to know what is a source code, what is an object code, and thereafter what is a compiler and what is the interpreter. Like I need you to know each and everything about these. At least you need to have an idea about right what is the compiler and what is the interpreter likewise. Right now we discussed that what are the right? What is the Java? In order to run the Java program, first you need to write the Java code. Right now, what is the Java code? That means what you can call it as a source code. Now, in order to write the Java code, we have to use Java syntaxes, and then we need to write the whatever the commands using according to the Java language. Right now, this whatever the thing we are writing here, which is human readable, the programmer can read, programmer can understand. Right now, let's write the Java program first. Right now, Java has some rules. Now, every Java code resides inside a Java class. Therefore, first thing you need to declare a Java class. Then class keyword start is simple. And in order to declare a Java class, you must define the class name, and then you have to use the class keyword. Then class keyword should followed by the class name. And then as a habit, right, you must use capital letters when you are defining the class. Therefore, in order to avoid the future references, future errors, you have to use capital letters when you are defining the class name. Right now, for an example, I'm going to define it as a test. And in Java, in order to define the scope or the content of this class, we have to use the boundaries. This boundary is given by the curly brackets, right? Then we have to open the curly bracket and close it. Thereafter, right, anything, right, you can have the codes inside the Java class. Right now, what we can have inside the Java class? Inside the Java class, we can have variables and methods. Inside a Java class, we can have variables and methods, right? Then we should know what is a variable and what is a method. Right now, quickly search and tell me what is a variable and what is a method. In any programming language, I don't mind. What is a variable and why we use variables, and what are the methods and why we use methods. Quickly tell me. Yes, what is a variable?
Like declaring the number and the test or a word using int, string.
Stored in data values.
Right. Okay. So, okay. Right now, what is a variable? What is a variable? Can you repeat it, please?
Stored in data values.
Okay. Variables are used to store values. Okay. Temporarily. And then methods. Methods.
A block of codes that performs a specific task.
Okay. In order to run specific task, you use methods. Right. Okay. Right. Just a second. Right. Then, right now, okay, now inside the class test, we can have variables and methods. Right. Then, what is a test? Now, what is a variable and what is a method we discuss? Right now, variables are used to store data. Methods are used to write a code to achieve a specific task. Right. Then, right now, I want to achieve a specific task. Now, I want to write, so I want to display something into the console. Right. Now, let's write a method and see. Right. Okay. Now, sorry. Right now, we are about to write a source code right now, and then we have written a class. We have declared a class called class test, and then what I want to do is display something into the console. Right now, display something to the user. Right now, so I need to write a method. Now, among the methods, you can have any method you can name using any name, right? But there is an inbuilt and most important method in Java right now, which you can call it as. Do you know what is it? There is a starting point for any program in Java. It's declared with a certain name. Do you know what is it?
main method.
Yes, now that is what you call as the main method. Right, then, okay, now main method. What is main method? Right, main method in Java is the very important method, or you can call it as the driver or the entry point for any application. Any standalone application, main method is the starting point or the entry point. Therefore, when the program is executed, Java virtual machine, we're going to talk about in a little while what is virtual machine. Java virtual machine look for the main method. When you execute a program, Java virtual machine will look for the main method to start the execution. Therefore, right now, for an example, now we have written this one. Let's say I'm gonna come up with something. Okay, let me try. Void say hello. I have something called say hello. This is a method, and all right, now let's say I'm gonna write system.out.println. We will discuss this later. And hello. Right now, let me first switch off the spelling. Right now, let me save this, and you know how to save this, right? We need to save it as Java file, right? Then in order to save this as a Java file, you can click on File and then Save As, and go to the folder where you are working on. And let's say in my desktop, I'm going to create a folder called EX, and inside the EX folder, I need to save this file, and then I'm going to name it as test.java, because Java file has to be stored with the extension Java, test.java, and I'm going to save as type all files, because I'm going to change the extension. If you leave it as .txt or the text document type, then this would be saved as test.txt. So I don't need to save it as a text file. I need to save it as a Java file. So change it to Java, test.java, and change the save as type into all files. If you don't want to do that, the other way is just put double quotes at the starting point and at the end, and have test.java inside. By putting double quotes, you don't need to change it to all files. But if you don't want to use the double quotes, then you have to change that into an all files. And thereafter you can save. Now I have saved it as a test.java in my desktop EX folder. Right now, thereafter you can open the command prompt, and then you can get into the folder where you have done it. So from the you can open the desktop from the file explorer and the particular folder EX, and now you can see this is the Java source file, and you can take a copy of this path. This is where you have the Java source file, and you can take a copy of this address, and then you can use a command saying change directory, and you can paste the path. Then you can see the prompt will change to that folder. Now that means you are inside that EX folder. Right now, this is where you have the our source code. Now you can try to compile our source code. Right, Java C. Now in order to compile as we did last time, we use Java C. Java C is to invoke the Java compiler, and then we have to specify the file name. Then file name is test.java. Right now, here if you compile, if there is any syntax errors, it will check before compile. Therefore, if you try to compile, Now it will check for the syntax errors. Then it has found one, which is in line number 4. It says in line number 4. Right now, what is the line number 4? This is line number 1, this is line number 2, this is line number 3, and this is line number 4. In line number 4, it says semicolon is missing at this point. Here, semicolon is missing. Therefore, we have to put the semicolon there and then save it back. And again, you can compile it and see. When you compile again, now you can see it got compiled. So, successful compilation will generate a class file, or we can call it as a bytecode. Now in Java, this is not the object code. This is different from the object code. This is not the object code. We call it as an intermediate code or a bytecode. Java generates a bytecode, not the object code. Now previously, we just discussed when you use a compiler to translate, it converts the source code into an object code. And an object code, we said it is a machine readable and low-level programming language. It uses low-level programming. Right, but object code is specific to a processor. Object code is specific to a processor. You know, there are different type of processors available. There are different type of processors available. And so, whatever the code you are writing is, whatever the code you are writing or according to the computer you are using, you have different set of commands, instructions. So, what Java does is, Java will not convert the program according to the processor you have. It is not processor specific. Java will not create the processor specific object code. So what it does is Java generate a bytecode, which is a low-level language, but generic, not specific. Therefore, the test.class file is what you call this is a bytecode, because this has converted this source code into a intermediate version, because this is not a processor specific, not according to the processor, and it is according to the Java virtual machine, because there is something called Java virtual machine. Right, now we'll discuss that later again. Right now I'm here to discuss. Right now we have compiled our source code. Right now we have generated the bytecode, which is class file. Right now this is, if I try to interpret this using Java test, we have to remove the dot class extension, and then if you press enter, it will give you an error saying main method not found. Now this is what I said. Right, in Java, right, now what happens when a specific program is executed? Right now, this program, our class test, has been written, done, and has been compiled, and the class file has been generated, and then it's about to execute. Now, when we execute it, now what has happened? We got an error saying main method not found. Why? Because Java virtual machine look for the main method to begin the execution. Java virtual machine is looking for the main method in the Java class to start the execution. Now, therefore, main method is not found. So it will give you an error and it won't start. Therefore, remember, main method is a starting point or the entry point of a standalone application. when a Java program is executed, remember, when a Java program is executed, Java virtual machine looks for the main method to start the execution. Therefore, this method must in this format. This method must be in this format. Therefore, it is strict. It should be in this format for Java virtual machine to recognize. Therefore, Java virtual machine to recognize this is the main method. Main method should be declared in this format. Therefore, that is what it says. Please define the main method in this format, this signature. Therefore, remember, main method we cannot change. We have to use according to this format, right? Therefore, that is a must you should remember. Right, now let's try out. Now, what are those? We have public. Then, in summary, what is a public? Public is an access keyword, and then we have static. That is also keyword, right? And then we have void, which is a return type, and then we have the main, which is the method name, and inside the brackets, because it is a method, therefore we use the round brackets, and inside the method we have an array with the type of strings. Therefore, string answer. We have string type array. Right now, I have saved it again. Right now, let's compile it again and see. We have to first compile. Let's compile, then again it will regenerate the bytecode. Now let's feed the bytecode to the Java virtual machine to interpret. Then it would say as given in the instruction, hello. Right now, this is how we get the output. Is this clear up to this point? If you have any questions, please ask. Up to this point, if you have any questions, please ask. Okay. It seems no questions, right? Then,
Till now, everything is clear, sir.
okay, thank you. Good. Right. Okay, now let's see. We were discussing about now I think we have briefly discussed about the main method and how to compile. Right. Then, okay, then let's get back to where we were here. Now we know the programming language, Java programming language. We already discussed which gives you set of instructions or set of commands to write the program. And once you write the program, we call it as a source code. So we need to convert into a machine understandable one. So Java uses Java compiler to do that. But then we get the Java class file generated. We call it as the bytecode. Thereafter, we have Java API. What do you mean by Java API? That we need to discuss, right? What do you think? What is the API? API stands for Application Program Interface. Right. Therefore, the source programs are written using Java language. Right now, these are the whole codes which resides inside methods, and programs are compiled into Java class files. and then classes running the Java virtual machine. And when a program runs, it is assisted by the other classes in the Java using the Java API. Right. First, we write the code using source code, and then right now we have the Java code which called as a source code. Then we compile using the Java compiler. Then we get the bytecode or the class file. Then class file we feed into the Java virtual machine. Right. Now, what is a virtual machine? Can anyone quickly tell me what is a virtual machine? What is a virtual machine? Just tell me what is a virtual machine? You may have used it already. Okay, what is a virtual machine and when do you use virtual machine? Sometimes you may have used a virtual machine. Anyone? Can you give me an example for a virtual machine? Where should we use virtual machines? So when should we use virtual machines? Any idea? Just search. What is a virtual machine?
Converting compiled Java code into machine code.
No. Okay, not the Java virtual machine. Just what is a virtual machine in general? What is a virtual machine? You may have used, so what are the day-to-day activities? So what normally we don't use day-to-day, but like sometimes maybe. Right now, most probably you may have used virtual machines. There are some scenarios. Can you give me an example for it?
Enables to computer to run.
Enables a computer to run. Can you be
Programs.
specific? Yeah.
Programs.
Enable computer to run programs. Okay, maybe. Can we? Okay, have we used virtual machines? Not the Java virtual machine I'm talking now. I'm referring to general virtual computers or virtual machines, right? Now, for an example, VMware, Java, Oracle, virtual Oracle box. I can't remember. Yeah. Have we used those? Just search for the virtual machine softwares and then you'll be able to figure out what are the softwares available. Oracle VirtualBox, VMware, and then what else? I have used only those two. VMware Fusion is already I have used. Yeah. Virtual machine. Have you used Oracle VirtualBox or have you used VMware Virtual VMware Workstation or VMware Fusion? Likewise, have you used? Or Hyper-V sometimes? No, no one?
No.
Right. Now, I will give you one example. Right. Now, let's say I want to try some experiments with the operating system. Right. Now, I want to try some experiments using the operating system. In the operating system itself, I want to edit some, let's say, bootloader, or I want to write my own custom bootloader or something like that. I want to do some changes to the operating system configurations. But now let's say in my computer, I have a genuine operating system, or then let's say I have, anyway, now we will have genuine. Right now we have operating system installed, but you don't want to do any harm to your operating system, but you want to try, experiment something, like do some alterations or do some changes to the operating system, but you are not sure, you are experimenting. Therefore, you don't want to do any damages to your computer itself. Or let's say, so what you do, you will install a software only, a computer, software only subcomputer. Or sometimes you may want to try some specific, okay, let's say you want to do some hacking or something, and then you want to learn something, how to hack or something, or then you want to try in Linux, especially let's say you want to try Kali Linux or whatever. Then, but you have Windows computer, then you don't want to do any changes to the computer itself. So you may install a virtual machine software. That is a software. Oracle VirtualBox is a software. VMware Workstation is a software. Then you install, and after you install, on top of the virtual machine software, you can install another operating system. Then on your computer, you install the virtual machine software, and use on that software, using that, we can install another operating system. Therefore, you can have the Linux experience from your computer on top of Windows. Or if you want Mac, you can do it. You can, if you want to do something, changes to the operating system, you can do anything, because if it is not working, you just need to delete that file. Why? Operating system is loaded into just a file. Then you can just delete it and try it. Then virtual machine is a software only subcomputer. Virtual machine is a software only subcomputer. Therefore, right now virtual machines, right now whenever you want to try a virtual machines. Therefore, right, if you mainly if you want to run multiple operating systems, right, if you want to try multiple operating systems in one computer, you could use virtual machines. When you want to test applications, you don't know what's going to happen when you run the code. It is vulnerable, let's say, whether it's going to crash your software, or you are trying some viruses or something, you don't know what's going to happen. Then you can try it on a virtual machine. Right now, right. Likewise, you could try virtual machines right now. Then, if you ask what is a virtual machine, virtual machine, the software, which is act like another computer, software only a subcomputer. Virtual machine is a software only subcomputer. Therefore, virtual machines can run programs and operating systems, store data, connect to networks, and do other computing whatever the functions. And virtual machine use the resources, virtual resources, instead of physical components. Because instead of physical components, it uses the virtual resources. Therefore, that is a digitized version of a physical computer, or you can say software only subcomputer. Right? I think you can. You got the idea. Right now, sometimes you may, when you at the first year, you may have given some Linux activities to do. If you want to try those things and if you want to feel the environment and everything, then you may have used already Linux, or sometimes in your whatever the campus, in order to try some specific applications, they may use virtual machines, and on top of the virtual machines, they may have installed those softwares. Right, in order to try. Right. Likewise, you may have used virtual machines. Right now, then problem is why Java has introduced a virtual machine. Why Java virtual machine? When you're installing Java means you are installing a virtual machine software, which is we call as a Java virtual machine. Now, at the very beginning, the main problem was when you write a code, and that code at the very beginning, you have to write a program to a specific to that particular processor, that particular computer. Therefore, you need to write the instructions specific to the processor itself. And thereafter, Java has introduced this Java virtual machine, and so you don't have to write the codes according to the particular processor. So what Java did was, regardless the processor, regardless the operating system, you install Java virtual machine. Therefore, if you are installing Java, that means you are installing Java virtual machine. Then, thereafter, now we have a Java virtual machine. Therefore, we have to write codes according to the Java virtual machine. Therefore, standard. Therefore, no worries. Even anyone can write a code according to the Java virtual machine. Once you write, the compiler will compile according to the Java virtual machine. Therefore, whatever the code you have written, I can run in my computer. Whatever the compile code, you can run in your computer, because we all have compiled according to the Java virtual machine requirements. Therefore, we can have the increased code portability. Right? Previously, whatever the compiled code will work only for that particular computer, but not now. Because of the Java virtual machine, every code gets compiled according to the virtual machine. Therefore, whatever the operating system you use doesn't matter. Whatever the code you have, right, I can run on my computer. You can run the codes given by me. Why? Because we all use the codes according to, or the Java compiler compiles according to the Java virtual machine. Therefore, we can compile once and run anytime. Right. Now our bytecode, which is right now not specific to any processor, which is generic, is feed into the Java virtual machine. Now this is where the interpreter comes into the play. Now interpreter has to interpret line by line of the class file and display the output. Right now, if you get back, right, where in our code, right now you can see here I'm saying hello. I'm passing a string value saying hello to what? I'm passing it to a method called println. I'm passing it to a method called println. And I'm saying inside system.out, there's a method called println, and I'm passing the hello. So I'm passing a value to a specific method. Now, what is this method? Now, this is not what I have written. Now, I have not declared anything called println. Right. Therefore, now this is an inbuilt method. Inbuilt method. Right now, where? Inside the system package or system.out. Right now, I have to use that. Now, this is where Java API comes into the play. Java API, which is Application Program Interface. Right now, Java API loads necessary data, necessary methods, necessary classes to the Java virtual machine. Then, when you feed our class file to the JVM, now interpreter checks the necessary classes available in Java runtime environment, and Java API will pull those classes and loads to the Java virtual machine. Thereafter, with the help of API, it loads the necessary classes, and then JVM will gives us the output. Then JVM will release the output. That is what we will see. Right now, this is a summary of how a Java code is working. Right, I think you can understand simply what happens. Right, you write the source code and Java compiler compiles into a class file or a bytecode. Bytecode is feed into the Java virtual machine. Now, bytecode is a portable one. You could share the bytecode because wherever if you have Java installed, that means you can run the bytecode. Right, thereafter, with the help of Java API, it loads the necessary classes and then it will provide the output. Now Java virtual machine will communicate with the host operating system and provides the output. Right now, that is how it works. Right, if we go through quickly, right now Java class file we call as the bytecode. Therefore, compared to conventional programming languages, Java is not compiled to a machine language. Therefore, Java makes a bytecode. Then bytecode is a result of the Java compiler, which is a low-level code similar to a machine language, which is generic but not specific to any particular processor. And bytecode is feed into the Java virtual machine. Right, then Java virtual machine is a software-only subcomputer within the operating system, which converts Java bytecode into the machine language and executes. And JVM is platform dependent. Therefore, there are different JVMs for each operating system. Now, when you are downloading Java, then you had chance to download for Windows, download for Linux, likewise, then Mac operating systems, likewise. Therefore, you can find different JVMs for each operating system. Then bytecode is communicating with Java virtual machine, and Java virtual machine is communicating to the operating system. Right, that's how we get the output. Right now, this is how we see the output, and this is a figure of Java virtual machine. You can see on top of the host operating system, we have installed Java virtual machine, and Java virtual machine has Java interpreter, and with the help of Java API, it loads the necessary classes, and we feed our Java bytecode or the .class file to the JVM, and then class loader will load the necessary classes using the Java API, and then interpret line by line, and then communicate the output with operating system. That's how it works. Right, and then Java API is what you call as application programming interface, which is a set of classes and interfaces which comes with the Java runtime environment. Right now, when you type Java, that is what the Java runtime environment. Right now, if you can remember, if you just type Java, you will see right now we have typed Java version, and then you will see the version with the runtime environment. Java version. Then you will see Java runtime environment. Now this is what you call as the Java API. Right now, this is the runtime environment. Right now, with the help of Java API, it will load the classes available in the Java runtime environment. There is a huge collection of library routines which perform basic programming tasks, looping, displaying, likewise. Then the version upgrades. Right now, the collection increases. Therefore, the basic task, whatever the task you have predefined number of tasks will get increased. Right now, here in our program, I'm using a predefined task to print. Therefore, println method, I'm using whatever available in the Java runtime environment. Rather defining how to print hello to the program, the console, I'm just using a predefined method. Then I'm passing a name here. Right, then bytecode, you compile your program once. That means you compile your source code into a bytecode, and you can every time you run your bytecode, and every time you feed that bytecode into the JVM, it get interpreted every time. Therefore, you can compile once, and then each time you run, it get interpreted newly every time it runs. And also you can remember, write once, run anywhere because Java uses Java virtual machine. Therefore, once you have Java compiled into a bytecode can run on Java virtual machine. Therefore, every operating system can have Java virtual machine installed. Therefore, after you install Java virtual machine, this bytecode can run on any computer wherever you have Java installed. Right. Therefore, it doesn't matter the operating system because whatever the operating system you have, if you have installed Java, that means Java virtual machine is there, then we feed our bytecode into the Java virtual machine. Therefore, it will work. Right. Then that is how we could work with the Java programs. Then Java platform is unique and it can work without modification on any platform, on any operating system if that platform has a Java virtual machine. Right. Is this clear up to this point? Right now, the basically how a Java program works, we have discussed. Is that clear? Yes. I don't hear you. Are you speaking?
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Right. Okay, the others also right now, I don't want any of the listeners here. I want you to actively participate. Therefore, if you are just here to listen only, I don't want you to be here. And actually, if you have to discuss, therefore, if you are here to learn, you have to discuss. Right now, Vijay Singh, are you okay up to this point, or do you have any questions? I don't like to actually call by your name. Are you okay, everyone? Is it clear?
Yes.
Right, good. The others also just by clicking on the mic icon here, like there's a tag called audio, and there's a red line in front of the mic. If you click on that button, you can talk and then we can hear you. Therefore, just try out. Right. Okay, then I'm going to. Right. Now, we have written the Java program. Is everyone okay up to this point? Right now, this is how we compile, and this is how we got the output. Right now, there is a difference something. Right now, can you tell me what's the difference between? Okay, this is one way of getting the output, right? And if you type this, right, what's the difference here? Now this is a different one. Okay, this is one way and this is another way. Right now, can someone tell me what's the difference? Yes, what do you think that? What happens? Anyone? Right now, you can see Java C. When you use the Java C command, what happens? Java C is invoking the Java compiler. Therefore, the purpose of Java C space file name.java is for to compile this source code, whatever the test.java, into a bytecode. Now, that the purpose is to convert this test.java source code to a bytecode using Java compiler. Therefore, Java C stands for Java compiler. When you run this command, it will take the test.java file as a source code and generate a corresponding .class file, or which called as the bytecode. Therefore, as a result of this, according to the class given here, it will generate a bytecode. Name it as whatever the name here .class. And thereafter, if you want to run this, then you need to type Java space bytecode file name. Right now, that is to feed that bytecode to the Java virtual machine. Then Java command is the which start the Java virtual machine. Right now, Java. Right now, if you type Java and file name is to start the Java virtual machine and execute this program, execute the bytecode. Therefore, this instruction is start the Java virtual machine and start executing test.class bytecode. Start the execution in Java virtual machine test.class bytecode. Right, because bytecode stored in .class format, therefore, we say without the extension Java test means we need to execute the or we need to run the Java virtual machine to execute this bytecode, which is test. Right now, you will get the relevant output. Right now, here what is happening? Right now, recently, that means after Java version 11 onwards. Right now, if you are using Java version 11 onwards, you may have seen this. Now, rather typing Java C file name.java, you just type Java file name.java. Right now, when you type Java file name.java, right now, let's see what is happening actually. Okay, let me remove the class file again. Right now, focus on this, please. Right now, let's try to compile first. We're gonna try Java C test.java. Right now, okay, and just give me a minute. I'm gonna name this as what? Okay, then test exercise. What is the first program? First. Okay, I'm gonna have first class first, right? Then here I have only one test.java file, and the Java file contains this content, right? Java file name is test. Class name is first. Okay, remember that. Now I need to compile this. So I'm going to type Java C test.java. Right. Now if there is no syntax errors, it will generate the bytecode. Now can someone quickly tell me what is the name of the bytecode?
First.class.
Okay, why is the first.class rather having test.class?
Because the class name is first.
Yes, even though we have now there's two names, right? Now you need to remember class name and the file name. Okay. File name is what? Test.java. File name test.java. Class name first. Then file name is test. Extension is .java. The type is Java file. Name is test. Class file name test. Class name first. When you compile, you instruct to the Java compiler by invoking the Java compiler. Okay, take this test file, which is a Java file. Then Java C test. Then when you compile, now compiler converts the source code into a bytecode. Then here you have declared class as first. So it will generate the first dot class. Right now, here should I type Java space test or first? Should I type test or first?
First.
First, why? I need to type the name of the bytecode or name of the dot class file without dot class extension. Right now, Java space class file name without the dot class extension. I will get the output. Right now, that is one way. Okay. Right, then let me delete this again. If I don't have the first class, right, then if I try to run this, I will get an error saying that class not found. There is no such class called first. There is no bytecode called first. Right now, I will be getting this error. Right. If I type Java test.java, right? If I type Java test.java, I will be getting the output. Right now, what is happening here? Did we get the bytecode generated for us? Yes or no?
No,
No.
sir.
No, we don't. Yes, sir. We don't get the bytecode generated. Now, what is happening right now? This command, when you type Java space file name.java, can be used after Java version 11. Now, that is give you the possibility to run the Java source code directly using the Java command. Right now, then without having the prior compilation, without having the bytecode, you can run the source code directly. Now, previously we had to run, first we need to compile the source code into a bytecode and then we need to feed the bytecode. Now, after Java 11, in the latest versions, you can run Java source codes directly using Java command. Then Java command compiles the source code in memory. Right, on the fly, it compiles, and then it immediately runs without giving us or producing a dot class file on the disk. Therefore, the Java file name .java compiles the source code in memory, or you can say on the fly, and runs it immediately without producing a dot class file to us or on the disk. Therefore, this is only possible for a simple Java classes, simple programs, right? Therefore, we could use it. And you can run only by using this step. You can have only one class, single class files. If you have multiple classes, that is not possible here using Java command. Right now, you can try it. Right now, could you please try this command whether it works quickly?
Hello, sir.
Right. Then okay. Right. Any questions up to now?
No.
No questions,
No,
right?
sir.
Good. All right. Now let's see. Right now, how to. Right now, what are the things we could do with our program? Let's see. We have this. Hello. Okay. Right now, let's say I want to do some calculation or something. I want to store a name. I want to store a name of a user. I want to store a name and I want to display later on. Right. Then how can you do that? And then what the system.out.println does. Right now, let's see. Right now, here we use public static void main string args. Right, you know this is the signature of the main method. Right now, this is we have to use as it is. Right. Then we said public is an access modifier. Then static is another keyword. Void is the return type. Main is the method type. And we have declared an array called args type of string in order to use the values. Right. Then here you must be worrying about what is the system.out.println. Right. Now system. System, right, is a built-in Java class. Right now that is a built-in Java class which contains some members. We have in, out, likewise. Then here we are using out. Out is for output, right? And then println is a method, right? Now that is defined to print value to a screen or a file. Now here, this is to print to a screen, right? Right. Therefore, now system out println. Right now, you need to remember this is how we can access the println method. Right now, there's another method called print. System out print. Can you please try out what's the difference between print and println? Now, the above one is with the println. Right now, with print. Right now, can you run it and see what's the difference? Right now, this is how it works out. Right now, can someone tell me what's the difference between println versus print? If you want to try, we can change it first line and the second line. Likewise, first line and the second line. Right now, first we'll try with the println. Then save it. Right, then run it and see. Right now, this is how when I use the println, this is how it work out. Right, and then I'm going to use print method. And I'm going to run this, and then this is how it works out. Now, can someone tell me or explain the difference between println versus print? What is the difference between println versus print?
Println gives the output line by line.
Println is to print line by
Like
line.
it prints, no, like it prints in new line.
Okay, like prints in new line. Okay. And then print.
Print in same line.
Yes, right now what happens here is when you use the println, it prints the content and goes to the next line. It prints the content, goes to the next line. That's why here we can see a space. But if you use the print method won't go to the next line. It prints the content and the cursor waits on the same line. Then again it will print the content and waits on the same point, same line. Then again it will print the whatever the next documents. Right. If you use println, it says print line. Println prints and goes to the next line. That's why the second line starts from the second line. If you have something else again, it will start from the third line. Therefore, if you use println, see here, if you put println here, that would right now have a space after this one. Because why? After second line, the cursor moves to the next line. Right now, if you have println here, right now you can see after the first line, the cursor moves to the second line, and then it prints second line, and the cursor stays on the same point. Their program ends. That's why it works. Right now, that is the difference between println and print method. Right now, in Java, it is a must. Right now, almost everywhere, every statement must end with a semicolon in Java. Therefore, semicolons are required to end the statement. Right. That is how you could work with the basics ones. Right now, if you want to print something, this is how you could do it. Right. Now, by any chance, right now, let's say if you forget to put the double quotes. Right now, let's see if you forget the double quotes. Try run this and tell me what happens. What is the error you are getting? What does it say?
As there is no double quotation.
Yes, now what it says right now. Now println methods accept a string value. Println method accepts a accepts only a string value. Therefore, now here when you say first, it will check whether first is a variable or not. And then here you have a space. Therefore, here it gives you an error saying a variable. And then again, since you have a space here, then it says this is not a statement. Right now, this is not a statement. And then again, now since it cannot recognize what is it, that's why you get the errors. Right. Therefore, remember we have to pass double quotes. Okay, if you start with double quotes and then if you forget to end the quotes, what happens? If you forget to end the quotes, right, then you will get another error saying unclosed string literal because you have a string literal started, but you have unclosed. You have not closed the string literal. So you will get an error. All right, now this is how it will give you the errors. Right now, you know the difference between print method and println methods. Right now, okay, right now, let's say because this is how you pass a value. Right now, if you pass a number, what will happen? Just see whether a number will it print. Just a number will it print? Just try out. Right. What happens? Are you getting the output? Yes or no? Yes, you get the
Yes, sir.
numbers. Right now, can someone figure out, okay, when you pass a text, now that gives us the error. If you pass a text, that gives us the error. Right now, if you say 10, okay, now that gives me the error. Right, then, yes, that gives me the error. But if I pass 10 in numbers, right, that get prints. Do I know what's the reason behind that? Can you guess what's happening? Anyone? Right now, because numbers, like it could be integer or float or double, likewise, then when you know to print the numbers, you don't need the double quotes in Java. Therefore, these are primitive data types, then we don't need, right? Therefore, with the println method or print method can directly handle the numbers without using these quotations, right? Double quotations. Therefore, we don't have to pass it as a string, right? When you're passing a text, then only we have the issue, right? So, right now, again, since we are starting, we may need to have user nodes. Right now, in programming language, using any programming language, user can put user nodes. How? Or what do you call those? If you want to write down your special node on it. you can do it. What do you call that? Putting the, okay, you want to write, okay, this is the entry point of the program. This is the entry point. I want to write something for my reference. Right now, how can I do that? Or what do you call that?
Comment.
Comment. Yes, then that is called as a comment. If you want to put a comment, right? Now there are two type of comments. Right now you have single line comments and multiple line comments. Right now, if you want to write, let's say here we need to write a comment. Then comments right now is used to have notes or to explain the code to yourself. Therefore, right now when you use it as a comment, it won't get executed. Right now, this will be ignored. Then single line comments are used using two forward slashes. Now these two forward slashes indicate this line as a comment and ignore it. This will indicate this line as a comment and ignore it. Right. Right. Then here, let's say I'm going to write a class. Okay. Class is a keyword. Class is a keyword. Right. And thereafter I'm going to say use start with the name. Okay, class is a keyword. Right. And then this is a single line comment. Right. If you want to make a single line comment, this is how you do. If you want to use multi-line comments, right? Now you can have forward slash and asterisk. Right. Then you have to end with again forward slash, so asterisk and a forward slash. Right now, here I'm going to write this is a single line comment. Single line comment. You can have anything here. This is multi-line comment and main method starts the execute. Start main method is the entry point of the execution. Likewise, you can have multiple lines. Then that is how we use the multi-line. Right now, I want you to print, let's say, right now, multiple lines. Right now, using multiple system.out print statements or println statements, anything about, like, let's say about a car. Right now, let's say about a car. Explain the car details right now. Likewise, write a program and send it to me via chat, please, everyone. I'll give you 10 minutes time. Right now, in a Java program, we need to discuss what type of values we could store. Right now, basically, tell me what are the types of, or what are the different things you need to store in a program. Right now, we need to take some user inputs and then you need to save it for further processing. What type of values we have to take? Or what are the values we may encounter in Java program? Tell me an example. I hope you all can hear me. Yes, Duminda. What type of numbers? Sorry. What type of things you may have to store? Anyone?
Words,
Letters,
character.
numbers.
Yes, we may have to store numbers. For an example, We may have to store price of a certain item, age of a certain person. Likewise, now we may have to store numbers. Yes. What else?
Characters.
Characters. Yes, we may have to store characters. Right. And also, we may have to store words. Right now, names, like descriptions. We may have to explain words. Right. Characters, numbers. What else? What else?
Images.
Sorry? Sometimes we may have to store true false values, right? Whether it is true or false, we may have to store, right? When it comes to Java, right now, there are two type of variables available. Now, I want you to quickly search and tell me what is the difference between a primitive data type. Okay, first, what is a primitive data type in Java? And what are the primitive data types available in Java, right? What are the primitive data types available in Java? And thereafter, why we call it as a primitive data type. Why we call it as a primitive data type. Okay, quickly find out and tell me. The name it says primitive data type. Right, now what are the type of variables? First we have to figure it out and thereafter we can discuss further. How many primitive data types are available?
8.
There are 8 primitive data types available. Right. Right, then why we call it as primitive?
It's the most basic data type.
Most basic data
Types.
types. Right. Yeah, okay. Now Java supports 8 primitive data types. Then primitive type is a predefined by the language. Right now, primitive data types are predefined by the language. And also, the name of the data type is a reserved keyword. The name of the data type is a keyword. You cannot use for any other purpose. That is a reserved keyword. And primitive values do not share the state with the other primitive values. Right, now there are 8 primitive data types available, and then those are predefined by the language. There are predefined sizes for each variable, and there are predefined, that means the range of values you could store is predefined. Likewise, we have. And also, the names are reserved keywords, right? What are the 8 primitive data types available? What are the 8 primitive data types available? Yes, please. We have byte. What else we have?
Boolean.
Okay, we
Float.
have Boolean. Okay, we have
Char.
Boolean.
Char. Int.
We have char.
long,
We have double.
Long, float.
We have float. I heard
Long.
int. What else?
Short.
We have short.
Long.
We have byte, short,
Char.
int, and then we have long. And thereafter we have float and double. Right now, these are numerical types. Right now, byte, short, int, long, float, double. And thereafter we have character types. We have char. Right, and thereafter, if you want to say right now true or false values, then we have Boolean. Right now, do we have 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, there are 8 types. Apart from that, we have already talking about some data type called string. Right now, my question is string. Is it a primitive data type? String, is it a primitive data type?
No.
No. Then string is called as a reference type. A string is a reference type. Right. String is not a primitive data type and it is a reference data type. Right now, Java has predefined 8 primitive data types. Right now, these 8 primitive data types: byte, short, int, long, and thereafter float, double, and thereafter char, and then the Boolean. Right now, these are 8 types of primitive variables right now, because this is defined by the language and names are reserved keywords, and now these are supported by Java programming language. Apart from that, Java also supports special support for strings, right? Using the Java lang.string class. Java has another class called Java lang.string. Now, that is for string values. Therefore, this is not a, even though this is not a primitive data type. Now, every primitive data type has a default value. Every primitive data type has a default value. Right now, byte has a default value. Short has a default value. We will discuss later. Right. Now, we know that there are variable types available in Java. Those are byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean, string. Right. Now, from these, first 8 we call as the primitive data types. Those we call as the primitive data types, and string is not a primitive data type. And a byte variable is used to hold numbers. Right now, is used to hold numbers. Right now, short also used to hold numbers. Integer also used to hold numbers. Long also used to hold numbers. That means whole numbers. Byte, short, int, long is to hold whole numbers. Float, double is to hold floating point numbers or decimal numbers. Numbers with decimals. Right, numbers with decimals can be stored inside float or double. Char variables can hold characters, one single character, right? And Boolean can hold either true or false values, right? Now, why we have different like byte, short, int, long? There are 4 types of integers, right? In order to store whole numbers, we have 4 type of variables. Can someone please find out what is the difference between byte, short, int, long, or why we have 4 types? What's the difference? Quickly figure out and tell me. Yes. What is the difference between search and tell me? Byte, short, int, long. Why? 4 types. Why? Hello. What do you think?
Byte is a signed integer value store using 8 bits.
Right now, okay. Right. In basically, you can see now. Yes, byte, short, int, long are all used to store numbers, integer numbers. Then depend on the size of the variable, and it's different according to the values you can store. The range of the values is different. Size of the variables are different. Like as there are differences in byte, short, int, long. Right now, before we are going into further the data types, let's see right now how to store a value in a variable, and thereafter how to work with the variables, and thereafter we will discuss what are the data types, and what are the primitive data types, and what is the scope of the variable. Likewise, we will discuss. Right. Beforehand, just quickly, we'll try um, to declare a variable in our class and to print a value of the variable, or to do some basic operation with the variable. Likewise, we will try. Right. Now, and again, one more thing. Right. When you're writing a program, you could write like this. It won't be an issue at all. Right. Now, you could write a program like this, but this will work. Right. Now, if you run this would work. Right. Now, but this won't give you the easy reading, right? This is not easily readable, easily see. Therefore, we have something called indentation. Right now, proper alignments, right? Leaving proper space. Likewise, now, uh, right now, we call, right now, when you write the program, someone else may read your code. Right now, because someone else may look at your source code, right? Therefore, or even you may look at the code. Then you need to see whether is there any parts missing, or likewise you can identify easily if the code is written according to a proper format. Right now, that means if you consider the visual layer, the structure of your code, right, is what you call as the indentation. That means you provide some spaces or some tabs to right now to make your program visually clear. Right. Now that is achieved by using spaces or using tab spaces. Right now here you can write, you know that first you need to declare the class, and then you need to have the curly brackets to define the brackets. Therefore, now you don't know whether which bracket is open, which bracket is closed. Likewise, you can't easily identify. No? So, in order to avoid such a situation, right now you could do it like this. Either now I'm using tab space because it's easy. Otherwise, you can have spaces. It doesn't matter. Right now, after now you can see, okay, this bracket open, this bracket closed, and we have declared the main method. And main method brackets. I have opened the bracket. I have closed the bracket. Now this is the body of the main method. Now this is the body of the main method. Now you know that this is inside the class, right? And this is inside the method. Likewise, you can easily see. Now this will increase the readability of your program. Therefore, now this is what you call as proper indentation. Or it's just like formatting. Now you format the code, you format the layout of the code to make the code readable for the others or even for yourself. Then this would make it easier for you to read. This would make it easier for you to identify the issues. Right, then, okay. Okay, then what we can do is here, right. Now to work with the variables. Right, now you know if it is a string variable, right, now, first, we need to declare variable first. How to declare a variable? Now, if you want to declare a variable, you have to use the variable type. First, you have to use the variable type of the variable, and the name of the variable, type, name, and comma. You have to use type of the variable and space, name of the variable, and comma. Right. Right now, for an example, if you want to store integer variable, integer space, let's say x, or let's say value, or age, you declare variable called integer age. If you want to declare float, price, and semicolon. And if you want to declare variable string name. And if you want to have another variable, like whatever the variables, you could declare like this. Right now, remember, first you have to define the variable type space variable name. That is how you declare a variable. Variable declaration. You call it as a right now. This is how you declare variables. Right now, type name. Right. Okay. Now this is how you declare a variable. Right now, this is how you declare variable. Right. If I compile the code right now, what do you think? Will this give me an error? Will this give me an error? If I run this code, if I have saved the file now, if I compile this or if I run this code, will it give me an error? Yes or no? Hello? Right. Yes, why? Here I have just typed the content which are not according to the Java syntaxes. The first syntax, every line has to end with semicolon. Now, okay, you can say, but this is not, but these are end with semicolons. Right now, here, what is this? You can't type like this, no? If you try to do it, you will end up by getting the errors. See? So if you want to ignore this by compiling, you can come up with the multi-line comments. Right now, this is where you could use a multi-line comments. Right now, you could use it as a multi-line comment. Right now, let's declare a variable. Right now, we have a variable for age. Right now, how to assign a value to the variable. Right now, this is a variable declaration, variable assignment. Right, initialization. Now, assign a value to the variable. That is done by variable name equal sign and the value. Let's say value is 10. Right. Now you do it. You declare the variable and you assign the variable. Now this is a variable declaration. You want to declare the variable, declaration, and then variable initialization. Right. Now, if you want to print the value of the variable, here you can just print age. You are using the variable name. Right now, if you use the variable name, that means you are printing the value of the variable name. Right. Try this now here. Right. Now, also, I'm going to have another one called, you can't have the same variable again. I'm going to have float. Okay, integer value again, let's say. Integer price equals 1000. And declaration and variable declaration and initialization. Both happens at the first line, declaration and initialization, and then here I'm going to give the value of the price. Right, now try out this. This is how you declare a variable in one line and assign a value, or declare and assign value in one line. Now these are the two variations you can do. Try out these quickly. Right. Then, okay, now let's see the other type of variables also. Right now, we know how to declare a variable now. Right now, we have declared integer variable and string variable. Let's say how to declare a variable called string name. And remember, if it's a string variable, you need to write inside the double quotes. Whatever the content must be written inside the double quotes. Let's say Jane Doe. Right, name Jane Doe. Right, and then okay, then I need to have, let's say, integer right now. Age, let's say 10, and let's say height, okay, float, height equals right now 3.56. Okay, let's say not height, whatever we call. Right, then we can have the age, height, name, what else we can have? Okay, height, we'll assign height as, let's say, 1.5. Right, now let's see 1.5, and then char gender. Right, now remember, if it is a char variable, you have to use single quotes. Right, now female and semicolon, and let's say Boolean. I'm gonna have variable called is single, Boolean is single. Let's say I have true. Right, now thereafter it's a matter of printing the values. Right, now beforehand, let's save this and then let's compile it and see whether it works. Right, now you can see when it comes to the height, because we wanted to, so let's say store 1.5, but now here I got an error because I had the float variable. Now you can see here, I'm getting an error saying incompatible types because 1.5 is a double value. Therefore, you have a lossy conversion from, or lossy conversion from double to float. Therefore, you may lose the value because 1.5 is a double value, and when you try to store it into float, you may get a lossy conversion. Right. And so here I'm going to make it as a double variable for the time being. Right now, okay, now I don't get any error. Right now, let's print the details. Right now, I want to display the variables. Right now, I'm going to have name. Then thereafter, I want to format the output as well. We have name, age, height, gender, is single. Right now, it will display the values like this. Right. Now, if you want to display some text as well, right? Not only this, name is Jane Doe, age is 10, height is 1.5 meters, right? Gender is male or female, female, and is single, true. Likewise, then if I want to have some text, we need to know how to have it. Okay, beforehand, just try this quickly, and thereafter we will try how to have some text and how to append the variable values as well. Okay, quickly try out. Right now, okay, now let's see. We want to display some text along with the variable value rather just printing the variable values. I want to have some text. So I'm gonna say name. I'm gonna write name because we need to write a string value, right? Name, then space plus. Right now, remember to use the plus value because we are using the plus operator in order to append the value of this variable. Right now, age. I'm gonna use the age. Age. Semicolon space. Right now, height. Height. Right now, if you want, to after the value also, if you want to display age, like let's say years old also, if you want to have, then you can type years old. Right. And height plus meters, let's say, because you have to always use plus operator if you are pending further. Right now I'm going to say male or female, gender, male or female. Right. Okay, then he's single. Right, now let's print it and see. Now you can see here, I have not put a space here, therefore here, and now 10 and here, values will be displayed here. Right now, then here I'm going to say years old. You can see 1.5 meter. Right now, here if you want to have space after 1.5, you need to have a space here. Right now, likewise here, this is how you could print according to the way you want. Right. Try out quickly. Okay, up to this point, any questions?
No, sir.
Right. Okay. Then let's see. We have variable called Jane. Let's say first name, and then we have another one called string last name. Right? And then if you print, all right. Right now, if I want to print two variable names, right? Right now, how can I work with that? Like, how can I print the two variables names, two variables? Right now, can I print f name, comma l name? Would it go like that? Let's try it out. Now it says, okay, here, semicolon missing. Right now, you can see here, this is what happens, right? No suitable method, right? Then we can't do it like this. So can we do it using the plus operator? And you can see without any spaces, now it will print without any spaces, it will print now without any spaces. Right. Now this will append. This will append without any spaces, right? So if you want to have a space in between here, then you could have inside the double quotes, you can keep a space and then you could do it. See? Or here you could do it string name. There you can have this full name plus last name, and you can have name. Right. Likewise, you could do it. Right, and because what we did was we had a space. We had a space. We appended a space in between first name and the last name variable. But every time we need to append, so we have used the plus operator. Now that is when the string variable with plus operator will does the concatenation or append. It will append. Try out that part also, please. And try this same thing for numbers. Whether do we need this, how can we do it for numbers? Try out. If you have x and y variables, what happens? X equals 10 and y equals 20. So okay, try to add these two also and see how we can do it. Now, what happens? Like previously, when you have x plus y only without this, it gave us 30. But when I have result is, and when I put a string value apart with that, now remember, if you use the plus with the string, it will do the concatenation. Therefore, here, even though these two are numbers, it won't add, it will just add the value of the variable. Result is 10 to 80. That's how it's gonna give us. If you wanna get the total, just put the bracket. Then it will perform the inside the bracket separately, and it will give you the answer. Right. That's how it's gonna work out. Right. And a few more things right now. Here, right now, since we have the same type of variables, right now, same string variables declare. Right now, you don't have to again and again type string. You could do it like this: string first name, string last name. Likewise, you could do it. Right now, see here, x equals 10, y equals 20. Likewise, you could declare, because same type of variables, therefore you can separate it by comma, and then you could declare. Right. Now, if you are okay up to this point, now hereafter we have to discuss about the rules and regulations associated with variable naming. There are few rules we have to know, we have to follow when you are declaring a variable name. We just discussed, declare variable type followed by the variable name must be used, then the name, how to set the name, then that we need to discuss. Right. Okay, try out this quickly. And thereafter, we will try the variable naming conventions. Right. So, okay, we'll discuss the variable names first. Right now, write down if you feel like if you will forget this. Right now, we have to remember these. Right now, variable names. Now we have already used few variable names. Then variable names may consist with letters, digits, or underscore or a dollar sign and dollar sign. Right now, variable name may consist with letters, digits, underscore, and dollar sign. Right. Can we start with? Now we'll try. Can we start with a name? Right. Yes, a letter. Variable name can start with a letter. Fine. Okay. Right. Then variable name. Can we start with a number? Let's try out. Can we start with a number? Now you can't start a variable name with a number. So you can't. Therefore, must start with name must start with a letter. Right now, letter is fine, not a number. Can you start with an underscore? Right now, underscore. Right now again, right, there's a mistake here. Can you start with an underscore? Right. Now, okay, here underscore name, right? Now you can see, yes, can start with an underscore, right? Can start with a underscore, right? Therefore, number also we try one name, likewise. Now you can't do the number underscore fine. Dollar sign. Can you have a dollar sign there? Right now, dollar sign. Therefore, variable name must start with the letter underscore or a dollar sign. Right, letter O underscore O dollar sign. Name cannot start with right now. Right now, we cannot start with the right now with the letter we know, with the number no, we know that, right? Name must be, or we call it as an identifier, right? Right, then right now the variable name must start with, you can say variable may start with the letter underscore dollar sign, but these two are allowed, right? Therefore, underscore dollar sign is allowed, but as a naming convention, right now in Java, there are some naming conventions. Right, according to the conventions, right now, variable name must start with the letter, even though underscore or dollar, even though underscore and dollar sign are allowed. Even though underscore dollar sign, even though underscore and dollar sign, underscore, underscore and $sign allowed. Right. Therefore, variable name may consist with letters, digits, underscore, $sign. And you are allowed to start with underscore, $sign or letter. But you must start a variable name with a lowercase letter. Even though you should not start with underscore, $sign, even though those are allowed characters. And start with the name, start with a lowercase letter. Right now, these are not, these are should. Start with the lowercase letter. Those are should, right? What it? Right now, remember name can contain letters. Name can contain letters, digits, underscore, $sign. Then must start with a letter, even though these are allowed. Name should start with, we'll say should. The name should start with a lowercase letter. Name should start with a lowercase letter. And no spaces in between the words. No spaces in between the words. And cannot use reserved keywords. Cannot use reserved keywords. And then variable names are case sensitive. Names are case sensitive. Right. Now, remember, now these are very important right now. Name may consist with letters, digits, underscore, $. Then it is a must to start with a letter, even though underscore and $signs are allowed. Then name should start with a lowercase letter, no spaces in between the words, and then cannot use reserved keywords, and names are case sensitive. And if you can remember, we said variable names are reserved, primitive data types are reserved keywords, and then we have already seen public is a keyword, access modifier, static is a keyword, void is a keyword, main is a reserved keyword, class is a reserved keyword. Likewise, then there are reserved keywords which cannot be used when assigning a variable name. Right, then we may have some scenarios right now. We need to have multiple. Right now, we need to, let's say, store some values with 2 words. For an example, I need to have what? Student name. Now I can't declare variable called string. Now variable must start with the lowercase letter, student name. Right now I can't have it like this because no spaces in between the words. I can't have spaces. Then how can I write in such a situation? How can I overcome this? Any idea?
We can use underscore between student and the
Yes, right now, as you know already, here either you could write it, what? Let me use this. Right now, okay, here, you could do it like this. Or now you could do it like this. What are the other ways of doing it? What are the other ways of doing this? Right, now let me tell you, there are some ways of writing. Now there are few Java allows as well. Now those you can call it as, right now this is apart from the, right now I'm gonna write that. Okay, here we have snake case. And then we have something called snake case, and then we have snake case, we have camel case, and we have Pascal case, and we have kebab case. Some cases are not allowed in Java as well. Right now, snake case. Now in the snake case, right now, if you have two words in a variable, right? Now, what you do is, right now, since you have two words in a variable, right now, when it comes to a snake case, right now, you could write it as, you can separate each word with an underscore. You can separate each word with an underscore. Now, for an example, you can have student underscore name. If it is a camel case, right now, spelling. Oh. Right, if it is a camel case, how can you do it? Now, if it is a camel case, you make the first word lowercase, and thereafter, whatever the words you have, every first character of every word will be capital. Right now, here it would be student name. Right now, for an example, number of items. Right now, if you have a variable called number of items, then number per cost per share. Let's say cost per share. Right. Likewise, you can have variable. Now, in this case, if it is the camel case, we will write cost, capital PER, cost per share. Kilometers per mile, miles per liter, miles per liter, miles per gallon. So the same thing right now, you can do it. Okay. Camel case, right now, first word, simple case. And first character of each word after the first word is capitalized. Camel case. Right. Then we have the Pascal case. Then if it is a Pascal case, right now, normally we don't use in Java, right? Pascal. Right now, still you can use allowed, but normally we don't use because we have a rule saying, convention saying always start with the lowercase letter. No? Therefore, we don't use it. And the kebab case is right now. What do you think kebab case? Right now, you use the hyphen. Right now, in the kebab case, also not possible for us to use then, because it is not a valid character at all, then we could do it like this. Now, these are the ways. Right now, here, except the first word, first character of each word is capitalized in camel case. And in the Pascal case, first character of every word is capitalized. Here, kebab case, you use hyphen to combine the words. Hyphen to combine the words. Right, then this is how you do it. Right, then from this you could use snake case and the camel case when you are declaring the variables names, right? Either you could use snake case or the camel case when you are declaring the variable names. Right, now here I'm gonna get you some variables. Tell me whether those are valid or not. Right. Okay, now tell me, first one, age, is it a valid one? Is it a valid variable? Age. Is it a valid variable name according to the Java naming conventions? Tell me quickly.
Yes.
Yes or no? The first one is age. Is it valid or not?
Valid.
This is valid. Yes. Start. It won't right now. If you consider that, but it start with a letter and no spaces, then contains letters. Therefore, this is valid. Right. Then the next one, second place.
Invalid.
Valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Invalid.
Why invalid?
Because starting letter is
Yes, cannot start with a number.
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 Cannot
Sorry.
start with a number. Yes. Student hyphen name.
Valid.
Valid.
Is it valid?
Yes.
It's valid. Shah.
Valid.
Shah.
Valid.
It is not a valid key.
Ah.
It is not a valid identifier because it is a
Yeah.
keyword.
Keyword.
Cha is for
Keyword.
characters. No, it is a keyword. Therefore,
Yeah.
we could say invalid. Invalid keyword. No keywords allowed. No keywords allowed. Right, dollar amount.
Valid.
Valid. Right. User hyphen profile.
Valid.
Valid or invalid? User hyphen profile. What are the rules? Name may consist with letters, digits, underscore, dollar, only these. Name must start with a letter, even though underscore, dollar are allowed. Name should start with a lowercase letter, no spaces, no reserved keywords, and case sensitive. User underscore profile. Underscore, is it a valid character?
Invalid.
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 Invalid. Why invalid? Not underscore is in underscore, not allowed. Not underscore hyphen. And is not allowed. Underscore main variable.
Invalid. No?
Why invalid? Underscore. Is it underscore? Yes, like now, according to the naming conventions, you must not start, but it is a valid keyword. This is valid. This is a valid identifier, but you must not do it. Right. Class. Valid or not?
Valid.
Invalid. Why invalid?
Keyword.
Keyword. User 5 data. User 5 data. Valid or invalid? Yes? Valid. It contains letters and numbers, no spaces, so valid. Because the only thing is you cannot start with a number. Right. Total hash balance. Tell me quickly. Total hash balance. Valid, invalid?
Invalid.
Invalid. Yes, why? Hash is not a valid character.
Yeah.
Public. Public.
Invalid.
Yes, no keywords
Keyword.
are allowed. Tot hyphen amount.
Invalid.
Yes, hyphen is not a valid character. You can't use. Price at cost.
Invalid.
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 Invalid. You can't use at sign. Right. Rewrite the following invalid variable names to follow the variable conventions. Right. How can you correct it? We can start with the letter and then you can put 2 there after past 2. Item price, how to fix it?
Item underscore price.
Either we can write item underscore price or else
Price.
we could write it as item price.
Price.
Like as you could do it. If
Dollar sign.
yes, if we can't use if, like now, if is a keyword, then we can have if one or something. Then it is not if ifs. Likewise, if one. Likewise, you could correct it. First underscore name. That is also valid.
Or also, yeah.
This is also valid. If either you can just remove this underscore. And user exclamation name.
User. So,
Yes,
underscore.
you can remove the exclamation
Underscore.
and then either you can make it capital N or
Capital letter.
you can have a underscore and do it.
Underscore.
Right. Then age of a person. Right now, how can you fix it?
Underscore.
You can start with a lowercase letter. You can have underscore age of a person, or else like you can have it as a now you know this the cases I have showed you. Either you could use the snake case or the camel case, right? This is the snake case. Total cost of items. Let's use the camel
Start
case.
with the lowercase.
Total and then cost
Underscore.
of item. Every word, first character is in capital. Employee ID, remove E, simple,
E simple
ID.
underscore.
Okay, either you can use the
Underscore.
underscore, yes, if you are going for snake case. Okay, let's go for snake case here, average test score. Simple average, and then underscore, underscore. Go for the camel case. Customer simple. No space, address capital A. Likewise, you could do it. This is how you have the variable.
Sir,
Yes,
what about kebab case?
kebab case. Okay, what is the kebab case? Kebab case uses what? Hyphen no putte.
Hyphen. Yeah,
Hyphen
yeah.
is not a
Hyphen.
valid character.
Okay.
Therefore, you
Yeah.
can't use. Even the Pascal case, you can. It is allowed, but right now, even having this, having it like all first letter of each word, having it in the capital format is allowed, but like it's not a naming convention. A naming convention says must start with the lowercase letter, not a must, should. Right? And one last thing to do before we go. Name Jane. Right. Now, if I print name, what it would print? Okay, first, let's say, no, you can't. Okay. If I print simple name, what it would print? Jane, no, Anne. Because it's case sensitive, therefore, if you use a name, then it would print simple in name me, it would be Anne, right? Even if you have another one called, you can have, let's say, N and capital name right now, Van, let's say, for an example. Now you can see each variables are case sensitive, therefore each one will give you different ones, right? Not the same. Variable names are case sensitive. Remember that as well, right? Now we are done up to identifiers. Then next day we're going to start with the variable types, data types, primitives and reference data types. And thereafter we're going to talk about casting. And if we have time, we're going to start with the operators the next day. Therefore, if you have any questions up to now, you can ask. Other than that, I'm done for today. Any questions, please ask. Thank you.